I'm not gonna lie, I'm personally really hyped for the Switch and I think it has a lot of good things going for it. But I'm not blind to all the red flags I see going on here. Even though the Nintendo Switch is not out yet, it might already be dead on arrival. Let's take a closer look at 5 things working against the Nintendo Switch right now. First thing, no pack-in game. With the Wii, there was Wii Sports, and the Wii U came with Nintendo Land. Neither of these games were worth buying on their own, but as pack-in games, they were pretty fun, and they showed us basic ideas of what those systems could do. Reggie Fils-Aimé explained in an interview that in order to keep the Switch cost at $300, they had to make the choice to not include a pack-in game. This is understandable, but here's the problem. Nintendo is still releasing what clearly should be a game bundled with the hardware, called 1-2 Switch. The game already looks questionable at best, and it might be able to show everyone what the Switch is really capable of, but at the price of $50 on top of the $300 that the Switch costs, not many people will pick this up. Nintendo Switch could possibly end up being just as misunderstood as the Wii U. Second thing, the price of the accessories. $70 for a Pro Controller, $80 for a pair of Joy-Cons, $50 for an individual Joy-Con controller, $30 for the Joy-Con charging grip, $90 for the system dock. Those numbers add up real quick, especially when you consider how Nintendo thrives on people gathering in the same room to truly enjoy a system. Just the Pro Controller price of $70 is scary enough, but one extra pair of Joy-Cons and the charging grip will run you an insane $110. If you plan on inviting friends over for game night, expect to pay a pretty penny to make it happen. Third thing, paying for online. I know we get to play online for free at first, but starting in the fall, Nintendo will follow the footsteps of Sony and Microsoft and start charging for online services. There's no price announced for it yet, but the features that we already know of have us scratching our heads. You have to connect to a smart device to your Switch in order to voice chat. Why not just use Discord on that same smart device? Monthly downloads of NES and SNES games? That actually sounds pretty cool. Wait, those downloads are only good for 1 month? Well, never mind then. Nintendo is not new to dropping the ball when it comes to their online services, but at least we didn't have to pay to be disappointed in their online offerings in the past. Fourth thing, onboard memory. Like with the Wii U, the Switch will have 32 GB of internal flash memory. Now the Switch will use cartridges, so unlike the PS4 and Xbox One, we shouldn't have to install every game before we play it, but 32 GB is still only 32 GB. If you download games or like DLC, you're going to have to look into a pretty beefy micro SD card, and the cost of a decent sized micro SD card makes the Switch's accessories seem like a bargain. A good 256 GB micro SD card will run you $177 on Amazon, and the Switch is said to support up to a 2 TB micro SD card. You can go ahead and look into getting a bank loan or selling a kidney for that one. Fifth thing, lack of docking station ports, specifically the Ethernet port. I overlooked it for the Wii because it wasn't a big deal back then. When the Wii U didn't have one, I was highly disappointed. Here we are with a new console in 2017 that's eventually going to charge me to play online, and there's no built-in Ethernet port. There are no words to describe the amount of disrespect I feel right now. If you want a wired connection, you have to buy yourself a USB Ethernet adapter, which, by the way, the Switch only has 3 USB ports in comparison to the Wii U's 4. Who's making these decisions over at Nintendo? Now, could the Switch go on to be successful despite all of this? Yeah, it's possible, but Nintendo would have to jump over every hurdle that they set up for themselves along the way. But then again, what would I know? I'm just some guy on the internet.